Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nuraini binti Yusaini and I am going to present to you the company background of Sime Berhad. Sime Berhad is originally a rubber industry company, while the company was incorporated in 1910 and listed in 1987. The Sime was acquired by Malaysia on 1977 by Tradewinds Malaysia Sendian Berhad. Today, Sime Berhad is considered one of the wealthiest conglomerate companies in Malaysia. Sime Berhad is led by Jeffrey Salim Davidson. The company is involved in trading, healthcare, and logistic business. It operates through the following segments: industrial, motors, and others. The industrial segments consist of sale and installation of equipment, sale of parts, provisions of after-sales services, and engineering services. The motor segment sells vehicles and parts, after-sales services, assembly of vehicles, and handling and commission income. The other segments refers to other sources such as dividend income and rental income. The company's vision is to build leading multinational corporation delivering sustainable value to all stakeholders. And their missions are: number one is committed to developing a winning portfolio of sustainable businesses. Number two is to subscribe to good corporate governance and high ethical values. Number three, continuously strive to deliver superior financial returns through operational excellence and high performance standards. Number four, provide an environment for people to realize their full potential.
First factor is the nature of business activities itself. A report can be presented on how a business generates their income by operate on its daily activities. This is the biggest factor considering that financial gain or loss came from this. A second is the managers who are responsible for the activities. Managers are the one who are accountable in the end of the day, since they are the one who managing the departmental given by a top management. Managers represented to their chief operation officers on their department's operating activities. Financial results, forecasts or plans which COO will later combine it all in one segmental reporting. Third is the information presented to the board of directors. One manager may also be responsible for more than one department. It depends on how a metric structure is being formed by a top management. Some managers may be responsible for only products and services, and some may be responsible for the market segmentation itself. Both still need to be presented in the reports for more accuracy in financial information. Darby has provided the segmentation reports accordance with MFRS 8. For Sime Darby, they use a business activities for their operating segments. Hi, my name is Muhammad Fatih Hanafi bin Shafi'i, and today I will be present on the MFRS 8, which is a segmental report of a Sime Darby Berhad. What is a segmental reporting? Accordance with the MFRS 8, it is the reporting of the operating segments of a company in the disclosure accompanying its financial statements. This report is required for public listed company, which is not required for a private limited company. There are many factors to consider in choosing the variables for segment reporting. There are 5 operating segments for Sime Darby, which is first is industrial. It consists of sale and installation of equipment, sale of parts, provision of after-sales services and engineering services. Second is motors, which sells vehicles and parts, after-sales services, assembly of vehicles, and handling and commission income. Third is a logistic, which this segment involved in road and rail freight forwarding, air and sea freight forwarding, and contract logistics. The fourth is healthcare, which involved in pharmaceuticals, biotechnology equipment, distribution facilities, and managed healthcare. And the last one is for others industry, which mostly involve in investment of acquisition and disposal of company. Since we already identified the operating segment, we then need to determine whether all segments should be reported. According with MFRS 8, segment that did not achieve a 10% from a total revenue will be combined into one segment, which is called other segment. The segment that meet 10% threshold will be a reportable segment. There are three quantitative tests that can be held, which is revenue basis, profit basis, and asset basis. For Sime Darby report, they use a revenue basis as their threshold test.
Often, the CODM of an entity is its CEO, Chief Executive Officer, or COO, Chief Operating Officer, or it could be the senior management team or might be the board of the directors. The title of the persons identified as CODM is not relevant as long as it is the person that responsible for making strategic decisions about the entity segments. Sime Darby Berhad has Jeffrey Salim Davidson as the CEO, Tan Sri Datuk Seri Haji Megat Najmuddin as the chairman of the company, Dato Thomas Leong Yu Hong as the COO, and the other board of the directors as the chief of decision making of its company. The responsibility of the position is the CODM essentially controls the management committee, and thus the CODM has control over the operating decision made. A component of the entity that is regularly reviewed by the CODM is likely to be an operating segment. In practice, a key issue in identifying operating segment is the extent to which the operating result of business units are aggregated for the purpose of reviews by the CODM. The CODM will receive the review information about the operating results of individual business units as well as of groups of business units. And set of information will be used by CODM in order to make decisions and to assess performance. Besides that, CODM also carried the duty to review the performance and in determining how resources should be allocated. For a component to be an operating segment, the financial information about the operating results of the component should be sufficiently detailed to enable the CODM to make decisions about resources to be allocated and to assess its performance.
Based on above tests, we can see that only the industrial and motors are reportable. The logistics, healthcare, and others are not considered to be reportable since it did not meet their 10% threshold. Then, we will need to do the 75% threshold test. This test is to determine on whether the combined external revenue from a reportable segment has achieved the 75% threshold. From this test, the external threshold itself has already reached 99%, which already meet a 75%. Therefore, Sime Darby did not need to combine another segment to achieve that threshold.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Shahira binti Muhammad Azizi. So now I will show you a new segmental report after we compute the 10% rule and the 75% rule test of every segment inside a big company by using the revenue basis. Each segment that made the 10% rule test will have their own column in segmental report, which is industrial and motor, while the segment that did not meet the 10% rule test will combine it all together in non-reportable segment, which is logistics, healthcare, and others. And after that, we calculate all the total revenue.
Briefly to conclude, our company uses segment reporting to document the performance of each segment of the businesses, which are industrial, motors, logistics, healthcare, and others. However, there are several advantages and disadvantages to the company for using segments reporting. The key advantage of segment reporting is transparency for businesses that operate in different categories or segments like Sime Berhad, segments reporting can reveal which areas are profitable and which are drains on the bottom line, so that the management of the company can take some actions and initiative in order to maintain the profitability of the segment and increase the profit of the other segment. Next, segment reporting also helps shareholders of Sime Berhad to get a clearer understanding of the fluctuations that could impact overall figures. For example, if a company report much higher than expected earnings, segment reporting shows where those earnings comes from. The shareholders may look at the same report to decide if the numbers are sustainable. It is designed to help investors better understand the company and its future cash flow. Next, we move to the disadvantages. One of the disadvantages of segment reporting is emphasis on the present. Segment reporting may rely too heavily on short-term figures. For an example, a company uses the short-term figures and ignore the long-term figures to report their segments, although they know that it can give a long-term effect to their companies. Then, the other disadvantage is manipulation of the data. Segment reporting is used for data manipulation if the information is published in the true management's eye style. This gives company leaders more discretion as to how to decide how segments are constructed and what metrics are published. For example, the managers will manipulate and change the data of the companies in order to attract the shareholders and investors to invest into their companies.
Next, we move on to interim reporting. What are the basis of preparing this interim reporting? For Sime Darby, the financial statements of a group of companies have been prepared in accordance to Malaysian Financial Reporting Standards, International Financial Reporting Standards, and also the requirements from Companies Act 2016. Accounting policies that are used for Sime Darby's interim reporting. Number 1, I will highlight share capital. Any proceeds from the ordinary shares that Sime Darby issues will be accounted as share capital inside equity. Let's say there are any costs attributable for the issuance of the share capital, it will be deducted against equity. Let's say the company also, if they declare dividends to the owners or non-controlling minority, it will be recorded under statement of changes in equity for the period that the dividend has been declared. Number 2, policy, provisions. So let's say Sime Darby or the group has any legal or constructive obligation which the outflow is expected to incur or probable or reliably measured, then the company can do provisions based on its present value. Let's say there are any increase of the provisions due to passage of time, so this additional cost will be recognized as finance cost in the statements of profit and loss. The type of interim reporting that Sime Darby uses is actually quarterly reporting. So in 1 year, they will have 4 quarters to report. Quarter 1, Quarter 2, Quarter 3, and also Quarter 4. Statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. Quarter ended June 2022 will be compared against quarter ended June 2021. Year ended June 2022 will be compared against year ended June 2021. Statement of financial position. Financial position as at 30th June 2022 will be compared against financial position 30th June 2021. Statement of changes in equity. Comparatively, Statement of changes as at 30th June 2022 is compared against statement of changes in equity as at 30th June 2021. Statement of cash flow. Comparatively, statement of cash flow as at 30th June 2022 is compared against statement of cash flow as at 30th June 2021.
Lastly, we need to do two adjustments in the first quarter by using the statement of financial position as at 30 June 2022. The first adjustment is depreciation. As per stated in the statement of financial position, on the 1st April 2022, cost of plant and machinery is 1.1 billion, with its accumulated depreciation as at 1 April 2022 amounting to 726 million. The company depreciated of all its plant and machinery on straight-line basis at 20% per annum on yearly basis and none in the year of disposal. On 1 June 2022, Sime Berhad decided to dispose one of its machines with a carrying amount of 200 million for a profit of 50 million. The machine was initially purchased by the company at cost of 350 million. On 30 June 2021, the company acquired a new machine at cost of 500 million. For the disposal, the carrying amount will be derecognized. Then the new machine will be capitalized as a plant and machinery as it meet the requirement of property, plant and equipment in MFRS 116. The carrying amount as per 30 June 2022 is 611.5 million. The second adjustment is inventory. On 1st April 2022, Sime Berhad had an ending inventory of 8.346 billion. Every year, the price of each inventory will change. On 30 June 2022, the company had inventory of 150 million unit at cost of 1 ringgit and 60 cents per unit. At 30 June 2022, net realizable value of the inventory is 1 ringgit and 45 cents per unit. The expected net realizable value of the inventory at 30 June 2020 is 1 ringgit and 75 cents. On 30 June 2022, the value of inventory should be recognized at its net realizable value as it lower compared to the cost of amounting to 270.5 million. The loss of inventory of 22.5 million should be recognized in the statement of profit or loss. On 30 June 2022, the value of inventory will be recognized by using the cost of 240 million. Therefore, Sime Berhad should reverse the 22.5 million inventory loss that was previously recognized in the statement of profit or loss. So this is the financial position for the current interim and the comparative. So that's all from us. Thank you.